Soylent Green. It has nothing to do with the movie, nothing about the parts of the movie I mentioned. I even pointed out the inefficiency of the whole idea of reprocessing human beings because you can't get much energy value out of them. But instead he's going to play this game. Like we deliberately raised human beings in Soylent Green to feed to human beings.
You spend 10 times as much protein to get it up and running like that. If you're talking about humans, you're probably talking about 20 or 30 times, given the time, probably more than that, probably hundreds of times, given the amount of, the size of human carbon footprints compared to these carbon footprints over here. You know what I mean? The amount of protein you have to spend to raise the, whatever it is, 140 pounds of protein that I'm walking around in, is nuts, really. So Soylent Green is a joke, really, in that sense. I mean, it's just a story. It's an experiment, a thought experiment. But you wouldn't raise humans for protein any more than you'd raise them for battery.
Again, you're just missing the point. They weren't raised for that purpose.
Like doing the Matrix. You know what I mean? The amount of electric power that a human being can generate is tiny. Stupid. If you're going to raise human beings for anything at all, you would raise them for processing power. You know, we seem to have this ability to generate massively complex brains. The fastest computer on the planet, the most complex, well, not just on the planet, known universe so far.
Oh, yeah, now we're talking a little bit beyond reality, aren't we? I mean, pound for pound, maybe a chimpanzee and an orangutan does better processing, and maybe for the food product it actually consumes, it does more processing per crude calorie than the human being does. So, you know, that doesn't really work either.
And one of the most parallel processing in existence, and it runs on less power than flashlight, you know what I mean? So, yeah, if you're going to use humans at all, use them find some weird way of using the processing power, not as protein source, or not as electrical power source. And it's probably more interesting, you know, I wouldn't mind dying in that, whatever that means, I don't think it would mean anything in the kind of science fiction future that I'm thinking about. I wouldn't mind dying if my processing cycles were somehow captured. Because that's essentially how I think I am. I think I am my processing cycles. So that's absolutely fine. And if my needs drop away, or if my needs change, or if my needs are reconfigured, or if my sense of who I am is reconfigured in the process, I have no problem with that at all. You know, this is just the larval stage. At the moment, the unfortunate part is,
yeah, well, I've always suspected Fred was a bit of a phantasmagorical, so he thinks this is the larval stage, that there's something else that human beings are there's something else for us to do besides cleaning the mess up that we make, that somehow we're supposed to be doing something else besides chasing, that there's some other game to play, some other game besides the chasing game. Yeah, right. Dream on.
That we all get squished at the end of our larval stage. There is no afterlife. There is no electronic fucking supercomputer to migrate into, which is a big bloody shame.
Yeah, because what would they, no supercomputer to what? To compute what? Exactly how lame your fucking hat looks? I mean, what the fuck is a supercomputer going to fucking supercompute?
I wouldn't mind thinking about that for a bit, you know, see if we can get one up and running. It's certain, I mean, I know it sounds unrealisable, I know it's just science fiction. But I'm sorry, but compared to the voucher scheme, really, I mean, that is fucking naughty fiction, that is, it really is.
Right, so we did it again. Did you get that Ojama flipper? Did you see that part? Again, opposed to what other contrary scheme do we compare this voucher that's nutty? Now, it's nutty. It's not even not realistic or not practical. It's nutty to think that one person having one baby is a fair circumstance, and that if you create a mechanism that allows people to have some opportunity to do more, have 1.5 or 2 each, it's nutty. It's nutty to come up with some kind of pragmatic way to resolve that problem. I mean, the reason why he thinks it's nutty, I think, is because it would work, and he doesn't want it to work.
And the idea you can implement it by giving everybody guns. Like, you cure the suffering of the planet by giving everybody a gun. Because
Oh, joke alert. Okay, my argument in that video was that we are either going to figure out a way to communicate with each other, which obviously we are failing dismally, or we're going to shoot each other. Those are our two possible futures. We're going to do a lot of fucking talking, or we're going to do a lot of fucking shooting. And I'm just saying that it's looking like the shooting side's going to fucking win.
That'll work. Fuck's sake. What is it about people who wander around on their own? You know what I mean? What is it, people who spend a lot of time by themselves and wander about talking to themselves? What is it about that? We've got that guy in Finland, what's he called, Pentti Linkola, I've been reading about. Deep ecologist, fascist guy. Terribly entertaining, you know, but he is a fascist. Came out in support of some of Hitler's policies. Wants to kill people, you know, any defectives, as I think Gary referred to them as. That's in his agenda as well. Complete racist. Get the population down. You know, fine, you want to go there. What is it about people like him who spend a lot of time by themselves in small cabins in the woods and wander around talking? And what's he called? German philosopher. Professor Anton talks about him a lot.
Yeah. Well, you can't even manage your dog. So I'll do the old Pat Condell trick. How about that? You want to play little personal games. You are talking about how to manage the world, how we solve the world's problem, and you can't even manage your fucking dog.
Here's an age. God. It'll come back to me in a minute. Nazi sympathiser. What about him as well? Same thing. Communing with nature in the Bavarian or wherever it was. Alps, wandering around, saying, trying to get back to the woods and arguing the case against technology and against the kind of depletion of the race and the depletion of the manliness, and we should all get back to using axes and shit. Wish I could remember his name. It'll come back to me in a minute. I'll put a thing on the screen if I can't remember. Him as well. Ted Kaczynski, you know, Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber Manifesto. If you read the Unabomber Manifesto and look at pictures of Ted Kaczynski, you imagine him wandering around his cabin in Montana, wherever it was. Jesus, that looks familiar, I'll tell you. Catch me doing that, wandering around talking to myself.
Yeah, right. Talking to myself. So that's your accusation. And somehow what I'm doing is different than what you're doing. Because why? Oh, because you have kids and obligations and responsibilities and dogs. So you're not talking to yourself because you're talking to your dogs. Well, I do have cats in some of my videos. Yeah, whatever. You know, fuck you.
Oh, yeah. It's all bullshit, really, isn't it? Get them all a gun, solve the problem.
Again, you don't really listen to videos, do you? You just, what do? I don't know exactly how you do it, but apparently you really don't take any time to actually hear what's actually said in the videos, and so then you can do this, whatever it is, this perversion you got in your brain now, which is fine.
Now we've got to reinvent ourselves. You know, we've got to be prepared to change, not the fucking world, but ourselves as well. We've got to be prepared to reject needs, reject desires, reject wants, reject everything that we hold dear, I think, if we want to make substantial changes. Superman.
Yeah, again, let's see how much money do people spend on sports, which is being Superman vicariously, and movies, which is being Superman vicariously, and video games, which is being Superman vicariously. What is that? About what? 90% of the whole produce or productive net product of the world economy. Come on, Freddy. But whatever. Okay, we is done. Thank you very much. Fuck off. Asshole. Big, fat, preposterous. Well, you're not fat, but you're just a preposterous asshole.